Thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm Rohan. I'm from Hindustan Times. The first time I watched a trailer for this show, a trailer, it wasn't really a trailer, it was like a tease, was I think November last year while you guys were still shooting. And it was shown to a bunch of us at some event, and it had this little, you know what I'm talking about? It had this little message from Shah Rukh at the beginning, and he said, he basically apologized for the delay. He's like, we're still shooting, it's very difficult, we're behind schedule, but we're making it, we're trying our best. I think you guys were in Ladakh at the time. Do you want to talk about the difficulty of filming a show such as this? Particularly what he was talking about, running behind schedule, how problems keep mounting up if you're working on the scale.
See, when we decided that we were going to recreate Balochistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, we had to find a similar terrain where we can recreate this. So, we had many scoutings, location hunting, recce's. We finally settled in Leh Ladakh. But the only problem was that when we had to shoot, it was already October, and by September, mid-September, the locals also travel down. They come down because it's very cold.
Yeah.
And also Ladakh, the air is very thin, so there's oxygen problem. So, but we had no choice because we were in a timeline. We had to deliver it, and we had to air it. So we went ahead, and in the beginning it was lovely. But as October ended, and the cold was, it was beyond. I can't tell you how cold it was, and extreme conditions, and but the only good thing about it is that when we see the footage now, when we see the series now, the show now, we all look at each other and we back ourselves, and he said, that decision going to Ladakh was superb, because the show is looking like this only because of those 30, 40, 50 days when we were shooting there. So yeah, it was extreme. The locations were challenging, but it's fine. At the end of the day, if you're happy with your work, happy with the output, it's all this is only, these are all battle scars, so it's fine.
How about you? How long were you there in Ladakh for? The entire duration?
I was there for about 20 days.
20 days?
Which is,
As an actor, you get annoyed on set because you're waiting around a lot between shots, and if it's that difficult?
Yeah, sure. Waiting is a big part of our profession. I mean, there's a very famous saying that says actors are paid for waiting. So yeah, waiting is annoying, but I guess it's so much. I mean, so much a part of our profession that we are kind of, I won't say used to it, but we understand why it is a part of our profession. And I think apart from, you don't really get annoyed except for sometimes when it just gets too much. But otherwise, we're all there for work, and everyone. It's not like people want to make you work. I mean, everyone's doing their best, but it just so happens sometimes it doesn't fall in place the way you expect it to fall in place. And yeah, I mean, Ladakh was, as you said, a beautiful location. So while I was waiting, there was still so much to just absorb in, which was great. And the cold, yes, was a little. The cold was actually annoying sometimes for us actors, especially because I'm wearing all these chiffon salwar kameezes in the show, and it's just like you have to perform, and no matter how cold you're feeling, you just have to do what you have to do. So it's tough. I mean, none of it is easy, but as he said, when you see the final product, it just all seems worth it.
One that stuck out for me in the show was how it's not particularly patriotic, it's not jingoistic, it's not also it's not bashing any other side, which I feel is very common these days. You see it a lot. Was it a conscious decision to not do what everyone else is doing in mainstream Bollywood per se? And did that idea exist from the very beginning?
See, to be very, very honest, we followed the book.
No.
From the book, we adapted the screenplay. and we went with what the material which was from the book to the screenplay. So like you said, that there was we never thought of being jingoistic or not being jingoistic, or bashing or not bashing. We wanted to tell a story, and it's a fictional story. It has nothing to do with any reality which is happening right now in the country or in other countries around. So it was very simple. We wanted to tell a story. We had strong characters in the story, and we want to back them. And and we went with our gut. We wanted to, at the end of the day, the narrative has to be right. The story has to be right. The characters, they have to be right. They have to be right. So that's the way how you tell a story, and I think that's how we all went ahead and made this.
But on the flip side of that same idea, while watching the show, it is set in. It might not directly tie into real life politics, but it is set in a real world. These are real places. Balochistan is a real place. India is a real place. Pakistan is a real place. The relationship between these three places is also real, and everyone knows about it.
Sure.
Just to play the devil's advocate, how do you feel there's a responsibility in situations such as this of the artist to make some kind of statement on what is happening in the real world? Particularly, I'm not going to expect it of everything, but if a show is set in Balochistan, if a show is set in India or Pakistan about government agencies, it's hinted that India funds Balochistan as separatists. Do you think it's
not hinted in our show?
It's not?
Not at all.
Okay. I mean, as if you were...
Also, to be very clear, I think, of course, stories come from reality.
Yeah.
And but here we are making a fiction, and the book was written a few years back. It was not written now, because the situations you're mentioning between the three countries have been in the news since last a year maybe. But this book was written a few years back, and again I come back and I say that that this is a story which we wanted to say, and of course we are responsible filmmakers. We are responsible. Netflix is a responsible platform. Red Chilli is a responsible producer. So we all know about what we are trying to do and what we are not trying to do. And at the end of the day, we are trying to tell a story. We try to tell an espionage thriller, and the material from the book was existing since last few years. So it's based on that, and at the end of the day, the content which we wanted to make, I think we have made that, and we are happy.
Talk to me about the changes you brought to the book. You added, I'm guessing your character's new, right?
Yeah.
So you had nothing to fall back on, only the script and what he told you. What role do you think she plays in the story, especially as someone who was added later on? So I'm guessing it was thought of as very important to bring a character like this in. I'm guessing it brings a little bit of emotion, heart to the story. What's your take on that?
It surely brings a lot of heart to the whole story, which feels like it's all about going on a mission and just getting your job done and killing the enemy in your way. I think you kind of at the point when Jannat enters the show, you kind of suddenly take a break from so much of action and all of the thrill that you've been on, and you kind of get centered. Like Kabir's story, it starts having different dimensions to it. It kind of starts making sense to you as to how, while we are, doing our job and, doing our thing, what we're supposed to do, we're all driven by emotions, right? We're all are living our lives through emotions, for different people. And I think that's the kind of, I would say, Tehrav my character kind of brings to the show, where you kind of take a breather and you go like, oh wow, now there is so much going on in Jannat's life itself. There is so many conflicts at every point. There is
the burden of legacy.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on. So while she brings that Tehrav to the whole show, at the same time she also adds a lot of layers, more layers to the show. You know, there is a lot of other things that start getting revealed when she walks into the show. So it's a lot that she brings in, and yeah, I mean, looking back at it, it's amazing how she was not there in the original book, and it's amazing how seamlessly she's kind of fit into the show, you know, and you almost see her as such an integral part of the show, you know, she comes and she takes the story forward and leaves it at a point where, you know, it's like it's just goes to another level. So there's a lot happening as far as Jannat is concerned.
How involved was Shah Rukh as a producer, and was there one or two particular ideas that he came up with creatively that you kind of retained in the show?
Jannat's idea was
Yeah.
Isha Khanna's idea.
Oh, cool.
Completely, yeah.
So you can imagine how involved he was. Of course, he was very involved, and like you said that the emotional arc of the series and her character, which centers around Kabir Anand and the other the past which haunts Kabir or whatever. So at the end of the day, I think that adding her character to the series was a great decision because she's the emotional arc of the series.
I think that's my time. Thank you, both of you. All the best for the show.
Thank you, Rohan. Thank you so much.